Hi everyone, it's Brenda. I just want to come on and do a video with you. Kind of like well, it's the first video in the drawing to in my lessons for improving your drawing. Sorry, trying to find the right words. So we're going to cover supplies that you're going to need for this. Super simple. You don't have to go out and buy anything. You can use any paper you want. If you're looking to make like a finished masterpiece or whatever, then I would get a heavier weight paper. If you're going to be using, depending on what media you're going to use, are you going to use pencil, then, sketching paper, drawing paper would be great. If you want to use pastels or charcoals, you're going to want something with a tooth, something more like even your watercoloring paper, because it has more of a tooth to it. Mixed media, stuff like that. But for this, we're really only going to be working with pencils and maybe ink. So getting onto that, you can just use copier paper for what we're going to be doing. I do have a book, because I want you to keep track of everything you do, maybe in a folder or something, if you're not going to use a book. Just get a cheap drawing tablet, even the ones that flip. I'm partial to either hardbounds or rings, so I have a brand new book here that I have not started in, that I'm going to use for mine, so I can track my improvement. That's the whole point of this, is to see how much you've improved. Everyone can draw. It's a learned thing. Think back, when you were younger, you couldn't write your letters. You didn't know the alphabet. You were taught that. Drawing is really the same thing. It really is, and as we go on further, I'll show you that, and you will definitely see an improvement. And it takes, like anything, it takes practice, it takes time. The more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get, and the better you'll get. Okay, so any type of paper, like I said, copy paper, whatever. You do not have to buy supplies. This is perfect for anybody. You can use index cards. Anything on hand that you got, okay? Lined paper, that works too. Anything that you can draw on, I keep on hand pencils. You can use a plain number 2. I really don't care for them. It's just personal preference, but they're perfect. You can use them. This is just a number 7 lead. It's a mechanical pencil with, the retractable eraser, and it's refillable. I sketch with these a lot. So if you're comfortable with mechanical pencils, that's great. If not, it's not a problem. And I also have these. These are actually artist quality. You do not need these. I use them because I'm used to them, and it's just softer leads, so they smear. So if you want to do shading, this is great. But if you're not really good at it, you really don't want this at first, because if you just put your hand to it and you slide your finger just a little bit because you're shifting your paper, you're going to smear it. And the softer the lead, the harder it is to get that lead out of your paper, because the paper's made of fibers and it goes down into those divots, and the more you erase, the more you'll tear your paper. So you're better off starting with a number 2 pencil or a mechanical pencil, which is the same number 2 lead. Even if you use a 2B, if you press too hard, it's going to be harder than a regular pencil to get your marks off the page without tearing it up and destroying your paper. Okay, another thing that you're going to want is some kind of a sharpener. If you're using a mechanical pencil, you don't have to worry about that. Your pencil's always sharp. It'll always stay sharp for you. If you're going to use, one of these, your finer ones, at this point, if you are using this, you know how to sharpen these. You would use your razor blade down a 45-degree angle and cut them. Or if you're using number 2 pencil, just have a regular, even dollar store pencil sharpener to sharpen that. What I like to use is, instead of my razor blade, because I really don't like taking that out in public because, everything going on and whatnot, I use my fine grit sandpaper palette here. And I use that for my 2B, 4Bs, 6Bs, whatever I'm working with, even my H's, which are a harder lead. If you have any questions about those, just, leave it below. Any questions that I'll leave below, and I will definitely answer them, and and help out any way I can. And you're definitely going to want an eraser, whatever you're comfortable with. The back of your pencil, one of those little ones that sit on your pencil. The artist gum erasers are great. I love the kneaded erasers because you can mold these and get right into that spot that you need to. You do not need one of these, but if you are just starting out and you have a little bit of money, I would spend it and get one of these. Get used to these. These are great. It's great for doing your highlights too. If you want to put like a bunch of color down and then push this in and twist a little and lift up, it'll remove some of it and make it a lighter gradation in color. So it's great little tool to have on hand. Another thing I like to keep around is a ruler, just in case some of these assignments that on lessons and things I'm going to have to do is going to make you divide your paper. So sometimes it's great to have a straight line because not everybody can draw a straight line. And if you're going to keep it in a book, you might want to keep it a little bit on equal proportions, to divide your book up. You don't have to, though. It's all choice, all optional. I do keep paper towels with my drawing, just small ones. I keep one folded and one larger. This way, when I'm working, I can rest my hand on it, because if you rest your hand, the oils from your hands get on your paper, and not only will you smudge what you're drawing, and after all the work that you put in, you really don't want to smudge it unless that's the look you're going for. But another thing is, if you handle your paper too much, the oils will stay on your paper and make it a lot harder for your leads and your inks to glide. I mean, if you've ever tried to write on something and it writes perfect over here, but then you get here and you are writing a C and the top comes out and then the middle doesn't but the bottom does, it's because the oils are really thick there and your pen won't write over that. It's the same thing with the leads. The leads will not pick up the deeper, darker colors if you have too much of your oils on there. So another good thing you could have on hand if you're forgetful and forget to bring your napkin or have something, or even piece of acetate or something to lay down over, is hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer will remove the oils from your hands. It actually dries your hands out. So that is a good thing to have on hand, is to put some hand sanitizer on before you start your projects, and it'll keep the oils from your hands actually transferring to your paper. Just make sure it's dry before you start. Not a necessity though. Perfect. Any napkins, anything, okay? It's better if you use a cloth one than acetate, but if acetate's all you got, by all means, just don't slide it and you're good. Another thing would be a blending stump or a tortillion, whichever way you know them as. They come in multitude of sizes. I keep the tiny ones because I only use them for going into the smallest areas, like all your 90-degree and smaller areas that you want to shade out. Other than that, your best tool really is your finger, because once you've got all your drawing done and you're doing your blending, the oil on your finger will help it slide and help it stay in place, so it's kind of like sealing your project. That's something not a lot of people will tell you, but it does. It works wonders, and it comes out the best, I think. Okay. And pens. Pens are a possibility for us in the lesson. You can use your ballpoint pens, you can use your gel pens, any pens you want, felt tips. It's up to you. Just remember the type of paper you have. If you've got real thin newsprint or sketching paper, it's going to bleed through. If you do not have, a thicker quality paper. What I'm using here is a basic drawing pad. So if I'm going to use my inks, I will put either, like when you buy your sheets or your bedspreads, they come with that cardboard insert that shows, okay, well, if you're going to buy your curtains, it's like a 18-inch by whatever. You could take that and actually stick that between your pages when you're working, and yes, it will bleed through to the other side, but it won't bleed through to the next page. Those are great. Even acetate. Acetate is great, but make sure it's something that you don't want to use again because it's going to bleed through on it and it may not come off. You could use your Sharpies. I mean, anything. I mean, the sky's the limit. I just grabbed these three because these are the three that I use for my Zentangles because they're just a little bit different in thickness. This one here is equivalent to almost a 0.3, and then this one here is equivalent to a 0.5, and that's the precise V5s. And then this one here, the big permanent, is actually like a big felt tip, and that's close to like an 8, a 0.8. Great for filling in your bigger areas. You really don't need them. One pen will do it all. Your gel pen will slide over and, you know, fill in any spot for you that you really need. It just depends on how much ink you want to put out. But I love pens. I collect them, so I have loads. So these are the three that I go to for my Zens. Yeah, so that's an overview of what you will need. Some, you know, just something close to those tools. It's super easy to draw. Don't get intimidated. Don't get overwhelmed. If you find yourself getting overwhelmed, the best thing to do is walk away, find something else to do to, you know, take your mind off of it, sit back, breathe, have a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, you know, soda, whatever, whatever your poison, and then jump back into it. Don't give up. It's just like any other thing. I mean, the more you practice it, the better you're gonna get. It is definitely a learned skill, so don't write yourself off. Try it. It's definitely worth it. I'm going to give you like a pre-assignment to see where you're all at, because everybody's at different levels. So this way I kind of know, and I can see your improvement too. I love seeing people improve. It's just amazing. So if you want, you can share your pictures either through a video or whatever and share it with me. You know, private message me a link to it so I can see, because I would love to see your guys' artworks. And if you don't want to do that, you know, private message me and I'll give you my email and you could send me a picture because I would love to see it. But yeah, the first thing I want to do is, like I said, to see where everybody's level is at. So you know, the first thing is grab yourself something to drink, you know, your favorite drink, something that's familiar to you, that's comfortable, and find somewhere in your home or even outside or even at the store or, you know, wherever you could spend some time, and take your supplies with you. I want you to sit down, look around the area you're in, and pick 2 items that you see, okay? And you can't move them. You have to draw what you see from where you're sitting. And I want to see kind of where you're at from that. They could be next to each other. They could be totally different. But make sure you draw what you see, okay? It's really an easy assignment. Don't get all, like I said, don't get overwhelmed. This is just to see where you're at. And then we're going to see if there's a lot of people really struggling, having an issue with it, then maybe we'll start off with maybe Zentangles after I show you the trick. Because I do want to tell you a little bit of a trick after this to your drawing to make it a little easier. But I really want to see what you guys do on your own first. And if you really are struggling with it and you're getting overwhelmed, please let me know. And I will help you whatever way I can to push through that. And I will also break it down and we could do some Zentangling first to help you, or along with it, to help you guys relax and just get the movements down with your hands, just to flow. Super easy. There is no mistakes in drawing. So just remember that, and it's fun. It's just for fun. But no matter what, you will learn something from this and you will get better. It's super simple, I swear. Like I said, I hope to see what you guys have been working on. And when I come back next time, we'll talk about some more tips and tricks and go over what we've already accomplished. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.